Welcome to the Guys Podcast. This is your host, Chris Poole. Just want to give you a quick thank you for checking us out. We'll be releasing content weekly, so check us out on all streaming platforms. And if you have any questions, remember to email us at theguyspodcast@aol.com. Enjoy the show. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Guys Podcast. This is episode 10. We've been a lot of live streams, a lot of hiatus from the traditional form version, but we're glad to be back and kicking. We're going to talk about some of the same four topics, but just a little bit of modifications due to the virus. There's not a lot to talk about in some of these subjects.
That off-brand spray.
So we're going to talk about sports, gaming and tech, pop culture / music, and then our usual relationships at the end. So we're just going to get started. Sports, the G League is making news this week after Jalen Green, who the number one high school prospect coming out of for high school basketball, is deciding to go to the G League through their new professional pathway program, which essentially you can earn up to $500,000 to play for that one season, and then after that season you're eligible to go straight into the draft. So typically a G League salary is like somewhere around $30,000 to $50,000 a year, but by doing this, they're able to earn $500,000. So the question that we want to talk about is, what does it say about the NCAA, and then the thoughts on the NBA's approach as their one and done alternative with this program.
Man, the NCAA missed it. NCAA is not gonna like it, but NBA is making boss moves right there. Like if a player from high school, especially a player who like doesn't come from like a privileged background, so who doesn't have any money, can make $500,000 in a year and still get drafted number one or number two, it's over. Like NCAA basketball is done. Because then people are actually going to start going to G League games and like looking at these prospects, and they're going to make so much money off of these people. I mean, because NCAA basketball already makes billions of dollars off these kids anyways. So if the NBA can make that money, still give them, like, pay them, and like put out a good product, I mean, it's a wrap for NCAA.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the G League has been kind of setting this up for years now. So it's just kind of come full circle with the first big name coming off the board and deciding to go there. I think it's the perfect scenario for the G League, in the sense that they get to do that and make money. I think the only downside to it is that they don't get the feel of like a huge fan base, because if you ever been to a G League game, it's like it feels like it's kind of like a closed practice almost, unless you get to the playoffs. It's just kind of like they go dribble up and down. They're playing hard, but it's more of, you can tell it's for development of the players and the officials and the coaches to try to get to the next level. And the NCAA will still always have players, because, I mean, if the top level players aren't there, they'll just continue to go down their scouting list. So they'll still have players playing. It just wouldn't necessarily be the top prospect. So I don't think that it's necessarily a loser in this situation. It does make the NCAA look bad, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're not going to be able to still make money off these players.
Interesting. Do you think a lot of top prospects are going to decommit now?
I think that they might decommit because of the virus and then reconsider, but I don't think that it would be a recurring thing. I think that this year is just unique because it's an unknown of with what's going on in the world and stuff.
Man, and I think this has been coming for a long time, especially with places like California passing laws where like college players can actually get paid for their likeness and stuff. Like the NCAA, like into big football and basketball, the writing's been on the wall for a while. Like they should be getting paid. So unless they actually progressively and like proactively make it so that these players are getting paid, people like LaMelo and like this kid are gonna start finding other ways to get to the NBA. Because if LaMelo this year goes to he go to like Hungary or something? Where'd he go?
Australia.
No, he went to Australia, but he was somewhere before that.
Lithuania.
Yeah. If you can go to Lithuania, then go to Australia, get paid, buy a professional basketball team, then go to the NBA and still get paid and drafted number 1 or 2, that is a much better option than them going to college, not even doing a semester of school, and just basically just being there so that they can get drafted. Like it's a much better alternative, and they can actually make business moves and get endorsed by Nike while they're still like waiting to go to the NBA. So eventually, either it's just going to be so that they can go straight to the NBA, or they're going to have basically this waiting room in the G League for that's basically going to be your new rookie year. It's the G League, so you go there. People, I mean, they'll have followings if they get enough top prospects. Then you go get drafted into the NBA, and it's a smoother transition rather than going to college, not even really wanting to be there, unless you're Zion, who's like, oh, I actually had fun at college, but he's like the outlier.
Yeah, I think that it's gonna be great for the G League in terms of television revenue because now they can actually televise games if it becomes more competitive like college. Not to say the G League isn't competitive because those are still grown men playing basketball at a very high level. I think that it's tough for the teams like, for instance, the team in Philadelphia, the Blue Coats. I think, s- say they got a player top prospect, they get Jalen Green. That 1 year, it's amazing. They're building a lot of fans, but then Jalen Green's gone. So it's like, how can they start to develop a fan base if there's never any consistency of players? Because it's a developmental league, it's never really going to be a consistent roster. People are going to move around, get traded, get called up to NBA, try out for other NBA teams, and then, so it's never really consistent fan base. And I think that's why the G League struggles because even when you have smaller name teams like the WNBA, WNBA still has bigger fan bases than the G League because you know that they're still on contract. They're still every time you show up for a game, you're still getting the same players and you know what to expect. Whereas the G League, someone can get called up, be on a 2-way contract, that type of thing. So it's a little bit less. It's more tiring to follow something that's not consistent.
I don't necessarily agree. Were you about to say something?
No, go ahead.
I don't
I
necessarily
got
agree
you.
because like with one and dones in college, I mean that's becoming the new norm with college
The thing
students.
about college, though, is that college people are fans of the school regardless. Like, they're always going to go to the games regardless of who they recruit, regardless of who's playing. Yes, the national spotlight might be on that team more, but the people that live in that city are going to support the team regardless. People in Arizona still go to football games, and we are trash at football. So, like, it has nothing to do with who's playing. It's just loyalty to the brand of the school. Go ahead, Stefan.
I
If you
mean,
want to say.
um, you kind of hit it. I was gonna. It would be the same thing in the NCAA with one and done. You don't know coming back, but like you said, you have a loyal fan base. As admit, but with the G League, it could be different because I honestly don't know how long they stay based on like injury stuff like that. Or
Yeah, anybody else got something? Come on, Ant.
Uh, I was first off by saying thanks for having me. It's been a while since I've been on. Thank you for having me. The whole thing about this one and done deal, I believe that not only does it affect the player, but it also affects their family as well. So that's what brings me to to my let's get it. I'm back. Let's go. No. Let's get serious. Kobe. R.I.P. to the man. All right, no, but no cap though, bro. Hold on, bro. I'm not gonna pretend like I could breathe into that thing. I was waiting for you to call on me so I could take that off. Golly. Yeah. But no, you guys make great points. What I would say is, I do think it's good for both. The whole thing about the NBA or the NCAA profiting off these players, that's a different argument for a different day. Because at the same time, yes, they might, but there's a lot that comes with those scholarships that they get to go play at these big universities. You got to put ourselves in their shoes. would you want to be the man on big man on campus? You know, going to this Division I school that's getting a lot of press, getting a lot of this and that. Um, you know, it's just a different environment for you. Yes, you were the man in your high school, but now you're the man at a big university that's on TV, and you're getting like clout. So that goes with it. But I don't know. I feel like the one and done is necessary. I knew they took it away the first time for reasons like they think that this a year in college will help them develop or help them mature and help them, you know, be ready for the league when they do come. But then you have players like Ben Simmons who, you know, went to college and literally was just there because he was just waiting to get to the NBA. He wasn't taking school serious at all. He was literally telling like reporters like he doesn't care anything about this school. He just wait. He's basically just wasting a year here so he can get to the NBA. I don't know,
Maybe
man.
he
A lot
should have
goes
taken it
with
a little bit more seriously.
yeah, but and what happened? He came in his first year and got hurt. He's luckily he was able to bounce back and play, but that brings me to another point where when you are that player, hold on, this man. When you so yeah, brings it to the point like if you have the opportunity to make that money, like Caleb said, or whoever said it about the 500,000, if you have any opportunity to make that money and you're coming from a family that is just living check to check, bro, you got to go take that money because what happens if you know your freshman year you mess around and you tear something, it's over with for you. Now you have no
Exactly.
opportunity to make any money, and that's what the big thing about Taco Falls when he went to UCF or
Yeah, UCF.
UCF. Before he
UCF.
went, he made
UCF.
sure he's told them like, you know, I'm a bigger body and I am at a high risk to get hurt. I'm not supposed to be this big. I'm 7'6". Like if I get hurt, I need you guys to guarantee me that I will be able to have free schooling straight from my commitment. They basically told him no, so he wasn't even going to go play basketball. And then they worked it out to where he can, and now you know he's in the NBA. But still, he was there to get his schooling. And I don't know, man. There's a lot into it. I feel like it will help the G League though, and the NCAA. And you made a great point too, Chris. Yes, those top prospects are gonna those top prospects might go one and done, but I mean that the NCAA is still gonna flourish. They're just gonna push their scouting down and get those next guys that were overseen that still have talent, and it might open up a lot of doors for people that needed that, you know, couple extra years to develop and come to the league or get to the league.
Yeah, and
Like a Malcolm Brogdon.
we're talking about the like very cream of the crop that might decide to do this. It's not like every player that plays Division I basketball is going to decide to do this. Like they might not even want them to do that at the end of the day. So it might be like 5 to 10 guys that are really ready that might do it. So it's really
I feel like it's gonna be more, bro. You're talking money.
well,
Yeah,
So-
You gotta think.
but the money's only available for those top like the 500,000. Like that's the max they can get. It's still a
So-
contract negotiation.
It's
So
more
for
than-
somebody like this Jalen Green kid, if they go to a G League team and then would they be able to sign like a 2-way contract? So like if somebody gets hurt on the main
No.
team, so they would be
Strictly G League.
okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that it's a good option, but I don't think it's even going to be that many guys that are even good enough to do it, that to make the jump. It's basically the guys that are ready to skip college, which Jalen Green, a lot of people saying he is good enough to skip. So like those type of guys.
There's a lot of guys that are good enough, bro. I think you need to go look at some.
No.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys. It's just the ones who have the recognition and like the name brand.
I'm talking like Kevin Garnett, LeBron, Kobe type players that they
Yeah,
want.
we're past that era, bro.
That's fair.
Those
That's
are
fair.
streets.
Hey,
Those are-
KD went to Texas. He went to Texas.
KD did go to Texas, but he was after the one and done had.
Could have gone to the league.
Yeah, because the one and done stopped at what 2008. It was 2008 because I remember I was going into high school when they
know.
changed that rule. I feel like there's more success stories than flops with the one and done rule.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't think the NCAA is going to hurt from it. I do feel like the G League will get a little bit more recognition having those players come in. Because think if Zion didn't go to Duke, but he went to the G League, how much TV that would cause? That probably would hurt the NCAA though, because Zion was like the LeBron of
They
college.
had a Zion cam during March Madness. Like they literally had a camera on Zion the entire time. So they were making bank off of him. So why shouldn't he make money off of that? And they're gonna. I mean, the NCAA. They're not. They probably don't like it, but it raises the quality of basketball for the G League, and then it gives other guys, like the next guy up, opportunities that they wouldn't have. So at the end of the day, it raises the quality of basketball all around, in my opinion.
But like I said, I think that
Puts
it's going to help.
pressure on the NCAA.
It puts pressure to pay them, but I think that they're not going to do that because of the amateur status and all that. I don't think they'll ever do it. And then across all
No, they
sports.
won't.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Guys Podcast. Sorry for the delay. Technical difficulties in this rough time of the COVID-19
You gonna blame it on
saga.
you gonna blame it on COVID?
Oh, absolutely. We have a lot of people on the internet. There's only enough bandwidth in the world, Let's go ahead and move it on to our next topic. So our next topic is gaming tech. I'm horrible at starting off the topic, so I really don't want to. So Caleb, it says your name highlighted next to it. So would you like to go ahead and explain what we're going to be talking about next, buddy?
So the reports have come out that the PlayStation 5, they're ramping down production of the console because they're expecting to sell less units. So they're expecting to sell less actual physical copies of the PlayStation 5 during the holiday season. So they're making less of them. And it's kind of part of the reason is because the production, like the parts that they need for the actual system, are getting scarce. And then part of the reason is because they think they're going to actually sell less consoles just in general. So just kind of what do you think that this means for the next generation of consoles, and how do you feel like it's going to affect the competition between Microsoft and Sony, that Sony is not even expecting to sell that many systems?
I gotta add on one more thing. So based on the articles that I was reading, it made it seem like they were intentionally doing this because they still want to sell the PlayStation 4 once the PS5 comes out, and to make it so that people that were hesitant to get an Xbox or PlayStation or Switch or whatever, which I don't know how many people that is, they're going to lower the price drastically of the PS4, get them on there, try to get them on PS Plus, and then make it so that you can still play PS4 games with the PS5 users, and then just drop a bunch of exclusive PS5s games.
That's lit.
That's
lit.
what I
Of,
interpreted the article as. So that they're not necessarily making it so that you have to upgrade like they did the PS3 and PS4. Those graphics were like not even like, it wasn't even possible to cross play those. Whereas the jump is going to be good, but it's not going to be so much that the PS4 can't handle a lot of these games.
Oh well, yeah, I did do a lot of research on that, but I feel like that's cool though that they're gonna keep the two systems together, like you can play both, and I bet you these PlayStation 5 exclusives are gonna be a lot of like RPG, like story mode games that they're gonna release, just to show off the boost in graphics and specs. And about them worrying about Xbox, I don't think that's going to be a problem. I don't feel like they're going to have to worry about Xbox much because a lot of the things that Xbox has been leaking about their new console coming out, they've had a lot of negative feedback too, because I think they said that they won't have any Xbox exclusives, or I'm sorry, like you said, Chris, how the PS5 is going to have exclusives. They're not going to have any exclusives for the new Xbox for like the first couple years or year, which made a lot of people mad because it's like, what's the point of upgrading then if I'm not going to have any? I can just use my, Xbox One. And I don't know, man. It just feels like I feel like it's just a lot of lack of information coming out and kind of bad marketing on both of the ends of the two. And then you have Nintendo in their own world floating around. And I also did honestly. And I was gonna let that simmer a little bit so we can get this out the way, and then say something about that. And I also heard there was a rumor that this was gonna be like the last gen of consoles too. That I don't know how much truth is behind that, but a lot of things that are gonna go just use or go with PC instead of having consoles, which I wouldn't like that neither, but because I'm more of a console. It's just the nostalgia of the console.
Uh-huh.
I don't think
I think
PC is going to kill it.
I think for Sony, this is not a good thing actually. So I think that to blatantly come out there and say we're going to produce less because we're going to charge a lot of money and a lot of people aren't going to pay that money, it just makes it seem like they're pushing for no reason. Like the formula that they've used has worked. We don't want necessarily need a PC level system that's like all spec'd out. We just need something that's can load faster, can hold more games. Like we shouldn't be experience connectivity issues. Like upgrade in the areas that we need. We don't need to be watching like a real life video game. If we wanted to do that, we would buy a $3,000 computer with ray tracing and all this stuff. So I get it that they need to. Yeah, we wouldn't, but you know what I'm saying. So like, and what you say about what you say what you say about transitioning to all PC, I don't think that. I'm not gonna say never will happen, but there's going to be a place for the ease of access for a console where you just give it to your kid, they turn it on, they use the controller, they don't have to go and have access to the internet and all these things and download and update. It's like way more confusing on the PC end with
the
settings and all that. Whereas it's just plug and play. That's why the Switch is so popular with children. You just hand it to them and they know exactly what to do.
Okay, and I agree. Just a quick comment to that. I feel like I get what you're saying about the plug and play and stuff, but bro, like stuff is evolving like rapidly. Like there's kids that are 3 years old using smartphones and using, and the level of like tech knowledge in kids compared to when we were kids is gonna be it's gonna be crazy. So the thought of consoles just moving out and it's just gonna be straight CPUs is kind of believable to a sense, because you have, like I said, the evolution of kids that are using computers at a young age. When we were going to school, we were using Microsoft, like 95 or 97, something like that. We're just
Windows
sitting
95.
here, Windows 95. I'm sorry, and we're literally just learning how to type on Word and use stuff like that. Like, no, bro, like there's gonna be, these kids are using computers daily.
No,
There's gonna be no textbooks. They're gonna be using
computers usage will go up, but I think there's always the place for a TV, a couch, sitting there with the controller with people around you.
Yeah.
Controllers versus sitting at a desk and play. I think that the CPU usage will go up, but I don't think that there would necessarily be a huge drop off. Maybe there will be a drop off in either Microsoft or Sony, and maybe they merge. They won't merge, but like maybe one will be a clear cut like console, and it would just be like a one man or one choice. But I think that at least in the near future, there won't necessarily is a drop off. And I think that there is a rumor about them not creating a new console, I think it's probably just a marketing ploy, like, oh, this is the best we can possibly get, so you should get it.
Yeah, but and like you said though, bro, but them just coming out and basically not trying to put, like, I don't know, when you come out with a new system, I want fire behind it. I don't want speculation behind it. I don't want you telling me that, because like you said, what's the incentive of buying this new system if you're telling me now that, well, we're gonna be working heavy on the PlayStation 4 as well.
I agree. I mean, let me put a disclaimer out there. I'm getting a PS5. Like,
absolutely.
That's not a question.
Hey, look, I wasn't listening to nothing y'all was saying because I'm buying the PS5. I don't care what y'all say.
No, I think it's a mistake that Xbox made with the Xbox One, because if y'all remember, PS4 came out at $400 and the Xbox came out at $500. And that simple jump of like, look, if they're one for one the same, I'm gonna save $100. which at the surface level is just one thing. There's brand loyalty, but Xbox came out and flopped. Their UI was bad. They had to get Kinect. There wasn't. They still don't have rechargeable controllers for some reason, and they still won't for the Xbox, the new Xbox.
Well, you have to buy that. You have to buy an external battery pack.
So like
and also they just switched the chargers to USB when they had that special charger for the Xbox 360 where it was like,
and you had to have an adapter to use. It was just all bad. They flopped, and I think that PlayStation knows that they won the PS4 battle after they had lost the Xbox 360 PS3 battle. So it's been alternating. It was PS2 beat Xbox, Xbox 360 beat PS3, PS4 beat. So it's like the trend would say that Xbox is going to have a huge push because they lost so badly. I think that was their biggest L. Like dollars wise, that was their biggest L because Halo 1 and Halo 2 saved the original Xbox. So I just think that they're going to come with it, and Sony is making a mistake by pushing. And basically, if the rumors are correct, it could be $600, which is like a lot of money to just be dropping.
For what?
For the PS5.
There's a lot of rumors that saying it's between $499 and $540.
Yeah, so
they're gonna put somewhere for that price point.
Even $550 is a stretch. Like I think that $400 should be the goal. $450 wouldn't be bad, but anything over $500 is.
You gotta think about it though. I mean, they can't really sell it for much less than.
No, I agree, but think about Kev. I built my computer that's probably more powerful than what they're gonna give me for less than that. So they are mass producing. They have exclusive.
They're mass producing, but it's compact, and I mean they have a better. The graphics card that they're putting in there is gonna support ray tracing. The CPU is the top of the line.
But one for one, the Xbox has better specs, other than the SSD.
I understand, but what I'm saying is they can't really sell it for much less than that. I mean, you got to think a new iPhone, the cheapest iPhone that you can buy.
Exactly, bro.
No, I agree.
What, like $700 or something like that? So I mean,
are they gonna trade and upgrade though?
So a console to be $500 to $600, it's not completely outlandish. But at the same time, if Xbox comes in,
if you look at the trends, exactly. You look at the trends. The PS3 came out for $600, didn't it? The PS3.
Yeah, it was.
And it got blown out originally.
Yeah. Saying whoever has the lower price at launch is gonna win, because when parents are going out and shopping for their kids during the holidays, if they see an Xbox and a PlayStation, they basically do the same thing, but one is $100 less, and your kid asks for the PlayStation, but you can get them the Xbox for $100 less. Getting them the Xbox and saying, "Hey, I couldn't get a PlayStation."
Well, think about. All right, my bad. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Just quick. I feel like that will apply more to us than it will to a parent, because we're so far into the series. Like Chris said, we're kind of made our mind up what direction we want to go with. It's not like we're not flopping back and forth right now, and especially after this PlayStation Xbox One, PlayStation 4 Xbox One, I feel like a lot of people are where they're at, and I feel more people might lean more towards the PlayStation side because of, the lack of success that the Xbox had. Also, a lot of the kids are going to want what their friends have. They're not going to want, what they feel is best, because if they have no one to play with, then, what I'm saying, like, what's the point of them having the system? So I get what you're saying, though. The price point is definitely going to matter. But at the same time, I feel like we're so far into it that people kind of got their mind out like what they want. Because I'm not looking. I'm not looking at like I want an Xbox.
I agree.
So my argument is, like, when y'all in high school, right, and y'all had Xboxes and PlayStation 3s. I think you had both, didn't you, Kavan?
Yeah, we had both. Yeah.
I'm saying, and we had both too. So if you're this far into the cycle, the family already has both an Xbox and a PlayStation. I'm pretty sure a lot of serious gamers probably do have both at this point, because the prices have gotten so reasonable. And the next console comes out. So the next console, the PS4 and the Xbox One came out. Why did y'all go with the PlayStation over the Xbox?
I went with the PlayStation, so I was late to the party. Everybody else had PlayStation, so that's what made me get a PlayStation. I had an Xbox. I have an Xbox One and I have a PlayStation 4 right now as well. But it's not. I'm not getting them at launch. I'm getting them when they have like a major drop in price, or I just buy it off of somebody that is or that it's cheap with. But if I'm basing off what I was going to get at launch, it was going to be what my friends had or what my social group played, so I could play with them.
And so the people who got it at launch, what do you think their decision was? I
See,
would
I can't answer to
I
that
would
because you got to take the Chris with
I
that.
I would venture to say it was the price. I mean, because
Yeah,
And availability.
yeah, and availability.
Because
So
even with the PlayStation 4, the price was 400, but everyone bought them. So the price ended up really reselling for higher than that.
so so for our middle school, high school kids who want these consoles. So I mean, the people who are adults, I think adults have kind of already made up their mind because they have so much time in it. I mean, they've already invested so much into the previous consoles, so they already know what they're gonna go. So somebody like you and Ant and Chris, you already know. I'm getting the PlayStation 5. There's not even a debate.
Mhm.
Like, there's nothing they can say. But for somebody who hasn't had that history, they just want a new console. When it comes to price and availability, I mean, Xbox is probably going to win if they have a better price and more units available.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
I, I agree.
economics.
I agree with that. But that they're gonna win to that certain group of people. How many new people are jumping on board to getting a game? You know what I mean? Like this late in gaming, because like it's all about like how it evolved, bro. Because like stuff is evolving at like a rapid rate. Back then, like you didn't care what you had. Like I do agree with you because you didn't care if you had an Xbox original or if you had a PlayStation. I ended up with both. You didn't care if you had an Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3. I had them both. Which when you played more, that really didn't matter. You still had both systems. Then it kind of got. Now we're at to a point where PlayStation 4, Xbox One. It was that like these are the
Diff-
systems, bro.
yeah,
Like it's just
differentiated itself.
it's like it was here and then they brought the game up to here, and I feel like it was all power or it was all drove by PC. These consoles were trying to match the level of gaming that you could use on a PC instead of just and that's why it's this next gen is more all multiplayer and not those single player games that you had a lot of um in the Xbox original and the PlayStation 2, and then it kind of got a little bit more competitive with the 360 and PlayStation 3 with the online play, and then it just evolved into all right, let's get this multiplayer system, um, and try to make these systems as fun as the PC, as fun and competitive as the PC gamers are using, and then I feel like this next generation, it's just not hype behind it, bro. Like we know it's coming, but it's like they're like I don't
Yeah,
know, man.
their marketing teams are terrible.
It's not even that it's terrible. It's just
Like,
and then PlayStation hasn't showed up to not one.
exactly.
What are they called?
Like
What does
E3.
like
E3?
like
They haven't,
the
yeah,
big events and stuff.
because they said they wanted to. Their excuse was because they wanted to do their own. Where y'all at?
Well, I
I've
mean,
been
and then when
seeing
they
like
do release something, they release the controller. Like, if they really
exactly.
if they really want to get ahead, just drop it. Just
They
leak the
usually
system.
drop the controller
Say-
before the
No,
system.
but I'm saying, I mean, they're already, in my eyes, they're already behind Xbox. So if they really want to get ahead, just tell us
No,
what.
I think
mean,
that-
just tell.
So
people.
this is the play. This is what's going on. PlayStation knows that they outsold them. They know that Xbox has to prove themselves to outsell them, so they can hold off as long as they want. What's gonna separate them is neither of them have released their price because they're waiting on the other to release their official price. So,
yeah, that's true.
so Xbox probably has a number that they want. Sony has a number that they want. Sony is fine with selling consoles at a loss because they sold the PS4 at a loss. They sold it for 400 when it costed like 427 to make the consoles. So they sold every single console at a loss, knowing that they were going to make their money back off of the games and all that stuff, and PlayStation Plus and all that. So if the console costs $600 to make, they can't go way lower. But if they see that the Xbox is releasing at 350, they're going to be like, whoa, we can't release at 600 if they're at 350. And that's what I will tell you. If they release the Xbox at 200 plus more dollars or less dollars, that's when I'd be like, hold on now.
It's over.
We gotta we'll have to
That
consider the
yeah,
Xbox.
that would make me change, or that would make me think otherwise. But like Caleb said though, like I don't understand why we are looking at these consoles like they're not worth anything. I feel like it's outrageous that um an iPhone is $1,000, yet a Switch is 300. Like there's so much fun and so much time that you can have with that Switch, but yet your phone costs $1,000. I feel like those things are just super overpriced, but it's we want it and we buy it,
Hmm.
and we because we feel like that's what they're worth. Like we put our own worth on stuff, and it's I don't know, $600 for a system. I don't feel like that. That's don't get me wrong, that's a lot of money. But then again, like come on now, there's
And
iPhone that's pricing phones at 1,000 plus. You know what I mean?
and
Like there's $1,200 phones.
Yeah.
and you're gonna get more life out of your console than you are out of your phone.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because you know why? Because it takes 6, 7 years for them to come out with a new
Exactly.
generation. Well, they come out with the pros and the little updated versions of that system, but it don't matter. You don't really need that. They come out with a new iPhone every other year,
Every
Every
uh,
year.
year,
uh, and it's not
twice
even
a
that's
year.
not.
Twice.
And I'm not trying to just talk. I'm not even just trying to talk about the iPhone or phones, any tech, because I made the same point about
Yeah.
GoPro. You guys are releasing out a new camera every year. Like what? Like if you're telling me that you had it only took you a year to advance that camera this much, you couldn't have just done that. You know what I mean? Like the year
That's
before,
facts.
it doesn't make any sense. I
Yeah.
don't know, man.
Well, we were going to talk about Nintendo, but we went over time for gaming quite a bit. So we're going to talk about pop culture. Um, Cavani had a great point about rumors about no large scale events happening
Yeah.
until next fall of 2021, meaning like concerts,
Hmm.
sporting events, all of that will have to be drastically adjusted. We're not saying that they wouldn't happen, and once again, this is a rumor, but social distancing would have to be in effect, which would greatly reduce the impact of a concert or a sporting event to a lesser degree. So, we're going to talk about things that artists can do that can keep their fan engagement high while still trying to make a profit and stay relevant. Yeah.
So we had a discussion about this, like when we were kind of coming up with the topics, and I think Kavan and you, Chris, had a really good point. Like, there's gonna have to start being a platform where people can go, like people, big artists like Drake and Beyonce, all these big artists who want to still make money from selling tickets to concerts, where they can go and basically set up a professional stream to stream their concerts to their fans digitally. So I mean, how you have these concert videos and like they release the post production of the concerts. I mean, they
Hmm.
already have the technology and the recording stuff where they can record these concerts and basically make it look like it's a finished product. So I mean, if you have an online platform, I don't know what it would be, who would make it, but if you have a platform that you could sell tickets in advance and you log in and you can watch these concerts live for a certain price, I think that's kind of going to be have to be the next evolution in this thing, because artists are still going to want to make money and fans are still going to want to support their artist,
Hmm.
and I think that there's going to have to naturally be that platform, because there I don't see people like Beyonce and like Drake just keep releasing stuff on Instagram because they're bored. Like, that's not going to happen. They're going to have to find a way to make their money. And
Actually,
it's
Caleb,
just
I have a counter to that before you go, Kavan. I actually put in on my notes, I said the celebrities will have to decide one of two pathways. They'll have to be compassionate or they'll have to be normal. And what I mean by that is if they're compassionate, that means they'll release free content. They'll just drop music. They'll do Instagram stuff. They'll do that type of thing and just be cognizant of the fact that people are economically impacted. They can't really afford to go to concerts. I'm going to provide this as a way of a out for people because they already have money. They necessarily Drake doesn't need more money.
And that's
Not
what I
to
was gonna go with. That's what I was gonna go with. Or just the only thing I was gonna say, Caleb, was it's not gonna affect people like Drake and Beyonce. It's gonna be like the babies and little baby, young boy, all those musicians that are up and coming that need that extra income that are using that to get to where Beyonce and Drake are. Um, but yeah, Chris. But I don't. So the basically what I heard about the rumor, like or got it with the rumors that they don't want big gatherings. I feel like society will be moving by then, and there will be people making money. There will be people actually working. It's just there's not going to be big crowds or big gatherings that they are gonna have. That's why they don't want the sporting events and the concerts going on and stuff. So I feel like at a like I feel like the economy will be good, will better. People will still be getting money. So I don't think the money thing is going to be a problem. Um, I've just like you said, Caleb, there needs to be some type of platform to where artists like those up and coming artists, like artists that are just now like hitting, like they were just getting in motion, like I said, like the baby and little baby and stuff, like they were just getting into their body, they were just getting into their character, and then all this hit, everything's at a standstill.
You know what
So it's
the
like,
platform
man,
I think is? YouTube.
Netflix.
YouTube.
Netflix.
YouTube. YouTube.
But I feel like there needs to be something just different. There needs to be something else because they've been putting Instagram on the map right now. Lil Boozy, Tory Lanez, all these little beat battles and stuff. Like, man, like why can't you guys make your own platform? Why can't you make your own website? Why can't you make your own platform to make?
Well, I think it's because
and not
Instagram is
Instagram.
that's free. That's free publicity, and it's free for the user. So there's not necessarily making money off of that, other than being more known. If they create their own platform, it's going to be the barrier of people having to pay. And then in this economy, people fighting over what they're spending their money on. That's why I said YouTube. They can make that profit by running ads on their videos on YouTube, still keeping it free content. So if they wanted to post a live concert that's 30 minutes, they could run 6 ads on the video and make millions or tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars off of that. Like if Drake has 47 million views on his new Tootsie Slide in 14 days. If he was running ads because that was a super long video, he would be making, it wouldn't be the same amount as a concert. Like he's not making $150 a person.
Yeah, bro. I'm not listening to it. I'm not listening to a song that has ads, bro. I'm not gonna listen to a song.
No, not
and then all of a
song. I'm
sudden,
saying
in the middle of the song,
concert.
see what
It's like a commercial break. You're listening to a concert and then like it's just a 30-second typical YouTube ad where you can skip it or whatever, and it just continues to play the video. It's not like a ad break.
I think somebody like Netflix could also benefit from it, because if you're
Yeah.
paying these artists to produce like a really nice concert show, I mean the artists don't have to pay for it up front. They get money for it. Netflix gets publicity, and then you provide the users with like a way to access this music. So I think a streaming service like that, or even like Apple Music or somebody like that, they could release, because they already have the platform to release music videos.
Somebody got to jump on it, bro.
I agree,
Somebody-
Caleb.
We
but
might,
I think that,
we might as well jump on it.
Caleb,
we might as well
I
jump
think that
on it, bro.
Netflix, the timetable is just
For
too
real?
expanded.
Yeah, it takes too
Netflix
long.
is planning a year and a half in advance. So to produce something and then market it for Netflix is not a process of like, let's do that like next week. Whereas YouTube, it's up to the person. Oh, it's ready, upload. You know what I mean? So
That's true.
Yeah,
I think
It's
that's
already-
why.
It's already been happening though. They've already had concerts to
Yeah.
raise money and raise awareness, because what they just had the Elton John one that was put on by Fox. Teddy Riley he already has his own platform, and he did a concert on his website and stuff like that. I don't know, bro. It's real crazy though, because this virus, bro, is like really rechanging the world, bro. Or not rechanging, changing the world, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it's like stuff is gonna be weird. Like everyone's doing conference calls on Zoom. We're doing all these like. There's a lot more celebrity interactions on Instagram and stuff like that. I feel like a lot of this stuff is gonna be like the new social norm, bro. A lot of this stuff is gonna be like the new wave, because I've been hearing from a lot of people like they feel comfortable like working at home and doing their conference calls through Zoom. It's just way more convenient. It's nice to do it this way. I've been listening to like a lot of podcasts and stuff too, and they said like just being able to. Usually they do shows at the studio and stuff, and just saying like just doing it collectively, like how we're doing it now. just waking up and then just doing the show, or going downstairs and being able to do the show. A lot of it, I feel like it's gonna, because social media already is killing our social skills and our being social in society and stuff like that. And this isn't helping. This ain't helping it either, because it's just getting people comfortable doing stuff from a distance. You know what I mean? Because we have to social distance, physical distance from each other. And yeah, man, it's crazy. It's gonna be crazy after this is all said and done, because I'm pretty sure that there's gonna be a lot of changes and a lot of stuff that's gonna happen to where it's a lot of like live and a lot of group gathering things are kind of gonna get diminished a little bit.
Not in Wisconsin. I don't know if you saw the protests today in the Waukesha area.
And that's driven by just stupidity in politics. Yeah. I'm not even gonna get into that.
Hey, let's not get
they literally just want to blame something on. You got a Democratic. I'm not gonna get into it, bro.
Yeah, hey, come on, just stop while you're ahead.
Exactly.
You live in Wisconsin.
Everyone that doesn't follow rules needs to get the punishment they deserve. You don't listen to this, you don't listen to that. But then again, when we get told to stay in the house and they don't like the rules, then they can go out and fight it. But yeah, right, man.
We're just gonna move on to relationships. Cam isn't here, unfortunately.
Good segue.
To talk about this. He kind of picked this topic more or less. So it's unfortunate that he's not able to join us. But I know many of y'all have been experiencing increased time together. Maybe not you as much, come on, because you still are an essential worker. But just talking about, does the increased time, being able to speak to each other, spend time to each other, whatever the case may be, is it causing friction? And also the importance of physical intimacy as a part of a relationship. And that can be interpreted by whoever or however the person may want it. For me, I'll start off. I think it's a yes and no thing about causing friction. I was actually in Wisconsin for a month, so I was forced into just sitting there doing nothing. I didn't have a car, so I was just there. And so it fast tracks a lot of things for me, because you learn so much about that person because you're just sitting there having to make up things to do. And it allows you to have good and bad things happen. So when something bad happens or someone says something and it's like, you're able to take that and have a conversation and learn about that person. So it could be a bad thing if the person and those people in the relationship are not mature enough to have conversations based on what things were happening, or if the physical intimacy is the main part of the relationship and that's all that people want, and that's all people are getting out of the relationship, because then all it becomes is, when's the next time we're gonna get intimate with each other? Like, it's never really a serious relationship anyway. So it's kind of like those it's a completely different argument, but for me it's like I'm learning at a faster pace than I would be because there's more time to talk and spend time with each other versus like a typical, I go to work for 5 days and then the weekend and then maybe we'll talk more often, things like that. So I'm interested to hear Anthony's perspective.
Yeah, I knew you was gonna say that, man. But man, look, I don't know. I mean, it could cause friction. I don't know. I put me in a tough situation.
Nah, boy, speak that honesty. You want to know what you got to say. Just say it.
It just honestly depends on the person.
No, we're talking about you.
Yeah.
The person. We're talking about you.
I'm talking to the fans.
Like, talk to us right now, big dog.
You want me to talk about me?
Yeah.
It don't cause friction. I'm a cool, laid-back criminal, you know.
Mm-hmm.
No friction in my household. I enjoy, spending time with my girl.
Cause y'all got forced to be together too. Cause she should be at school right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. Good. Yeah. She didn't have to see no other dudes when she was in college. I don't let her too close.
Social distancing.
Body,
Hey,
it honestly all worked out. You know, like Chris said, you do learn stuff faster. Question.
Oh my god.
That was a.
what?
It depends on people's.
He was frozen for me.
Yeah, it was froze too.
Froze.
You're good
You
now.
sound like Future, bro.
Huh?
You sound like Future.
Ooh, I sound cold. Then I can make it.
Mm-hmm.
I can make it rapping.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about you,
I think
Stefan?
I mean, I look at it from the outside, man. I talk to him, but it's not serious. So
How many you
basically,
talk to?
hey, this one, bro, you know,
Just asking. Just asking.
But no,
You trying
like-
to get this man in trouble.
like Ant said, it really just depends on the person. But going back to one of the first episodes of the podcast, it's really just about being able to set your own boundaries and take your you time, because you're gonna be together, but at the same time you still need that makes you happy. It shouldn't be like together all the time. Like you can be with someone and distance yourself.
Yeah, that's what we're all doing right now, I think. I would say. What about you, Kavon, Caleb? Caleb, you're a little bit unique.
Yeah.
That man's forced to social distance. Yeah. That's why I love, like, this is what I'm saying. Like, the perspectives is crazy because you and Ant both can't see your girls as much, but this has brought y'all closer. Caleb is just been social distancing from his girl and probably can't see her now because of this. You know what I mean? But me, bro, I've been at work. Life has not changed for me one bit. I literally go to work and come home, go to sleep. So I know that I've seen an increase in divorces, an increase in domestic violence due to this shutdown. It doesn't make any sense to me. I feel like you can still get you don't, just because you're in the same room with the same person or the other person, doesn't mean like you can't just, like, separate for a little bit and get your time alone that you need. But no, I enjoy every minute of it. I can come home. You really don't have to, like, make plans to go anywhere. You can I'm a homebody anyways. So you just come home and, you can just don't have the anxiety of, trying to entertain yourself, or we should do this, go there, spend money here, go there, do this. It's just, you just at home chilling. You find something to do. You're being more creative in the house because you're trying to figure out new things to do with each other, and yeah, basically that's about it.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of similar to Kavan. Things haven't really changed much. I mean, because we live in two separate states. Me and my significant other, we live in two separate states, anyways. So the fact that this has kind of caused people to have to stay at home and have to social distance. I mean, it's much more the same. So, I mean, if anything, I talk to her less because she's more busy doing schoolwork and stuff, because she's had to move to online classes, and that's been like a rough transition for her. So, I mean, that's something different, but at the same time, it's not really been hard, because I mean, we've had to learn how to communicate and how to work things out from afar anyways. So, I mean, it's kind of much like Kavan said, kind of same old, same old.
Does anyone have any last thoughts about this topic? I know that we have another subset, but for timing purposes, unless anyone has like any pressing matters, we'll just push that to the next episode and get into our outro.
Go ahead, segue, boy.
All right, so it's story time. And this week we got a real special treat for y'all. The comedian of the podcast, Yo Conley.
Oh man, you put me on the spot. Spiggity spit bot.
So it could be anything. You know, a lot of experiences that we had, like high school and stuff, might have been. We all had our own perspective, but you know, take it away if there's anything that people have to chime in.
Man,
Be
there's
interesting how you pop
there's
in
and
football practice.
oh, I did give him a boot bop. Um, bro, there's endless stories. I don't know, man. I don't really. We might have to edit through this. Bro, we've gotten into so much mischief and so much things at school or outside school. It's just impossible to like pinpoint a story. I do have like a couple that do come to mind, but none of them are appropriate to share with others.
Taco. You could tell him about that Taco Bell
Man.
story when I almost got kicked out.
Let me
of
dig a
Taco
little
Bell
bit.
because you gave me that water cup.
Water cup.
Man, Kavan. So we went to
Oh
outside lunch.
man,
Bro.
that's really not. That's not okay. Look, bro, that's not even a bad story.
It's not a bad
That's not
story.
even a funny. That's not even a funny
It's not-
story.
it's
But
not- no, because the dude was being like
Look,
butthurt
so,
about it. He was being
Harry,
so
Harry.
man.
So what happened was, I was probably being a little bit of a bad influence that day, and I told Caleb to come out to lunch with me, and he wasn't allowed to leave campus because that year they said that freshmen can't leave campus for lunch. I was like, nah, bro, just come with me. Just walk out. You're good. Yeah, so look. So he came out with me, bro. He came out with me. And I was like, all right, let's get it. So, yeah, so we went to Taco Bell. And we linked with some people there. And as they were leaving out, they handed me a cup that was with pop. Like, it was a pop cup. And I gave it to Caleb. I'm like, bro, go ahead. Go, like, get you a pop, bro. And, you know, go get a pop. So he goes and gets a pop, and then the guy from behind the counter just comes out like super aggressive. And then as he was talking to Caleb, and I went up to him, I was like, what's the problem, bro? Like I said, they just gave us that cup, like it was a bought cup that we thought. He's like, no, that was a water cup. And we was like, all right, man, like relax, bro. Like we didn't know that it was a water cup. Like it was given to us. We thought it was a bought cup for pop, and like we're not even in here trying to cause any trouble. Long story short, bro, dude was being extremely aggressive and was just upset because you know he had to work, and it gets kind of crazy when the high schoolers come down there.
I'm gonna take your picture and you're never gonna be allowed in this Taco Bell.
Yeah, I'm like,
bro, chill out.
I was like, bro, we will be down here, bro. It was definitely. That was a crack spot though, bro. Because back then, that was when they had the 70 cent or whatever they were, 77 cent, 80 cent, 5-layer burritos.
We ain't gonna talk about how Kavan used to cheat on that machine.
Oh no! And then yeah, bro, they had the little coin machine where you could drop the coin down and win free tacos. Money every time, bro. It was money.
He cheated it.
Look, I would, and this is why I loved high school, bro, because I would go and get full off of $3 at Taco Bell, and I would ask people for their change. You know, let me get the coins. Let me get the coins from you, bro. When they got their money back, let me get the coins. Let me get the coins. And I would win tacos off that. I would win tacos off their coins. It was a perfect thing. It was like 4 levels or 5 levels. It was a perfect way to drop the coin to get it to the second to last one. And it would already be halfway hanging off. All you'd have to do was just twist it a little bit, jerk it. That mother, give me my taco.
Nah, that brother would take the
Give me my
machine.
taco.
That
Oh,
boy-
if they weren't looking, I would shake the
He'd
mess
take
out.
the machine, he'll move it, and then he'll be like, hey, I got one.
No, it was one day I ran it up. It was one day I literally ran it up, bro. I was like, man, I'm gonna need all of that. Then they really tweaked across the street at McDonald's when they did those quarter pounders. And then on top of it was quarter pounders. On top of it, when you bought the quarter pounder, they were playing that Monopoly with it as well. So you would have like chances to win
What?
more food with
I
bro.
don't even remember that.
What?
Bro, I went in there with $1. Let me get 4 of those. I'll rip those off. Free medium fry, thank you. Free breakfast sandwich, thank you. Man, I would just cash it in right then and there,
Free
man.
fries.
Free fries, bro. I'm telling you. I thought I was a finesser now.
Hey,
I was a real finesser back then, bro. That's really not a real funny story, but I do remember that though, Kel. There's so many memories that we had, bro. Oh, I will say this. Here go a little funny story. This was my man's Caleb's birthday. We're at lunchtime.
Man.
You know, we had back in our school, man. We had our little group, man. So we weren't all like real close to each other, but we were definitely like tight because we just had like a bond. You know what I'm saying? We had a big group. We had a man in the group, man. Twan, if you're watching, shout out to you, bro. Twan 3 times. We're gonna have to talk about this though, real quick, bro. You got way too aggressive with my man's Caleb. Caleb, I remember he said, he came up to me, he said, "Oh, it's your birthday?" He said, "Oh, we're gonna have to give him his licks. I'm like, bro, we get it, Twan. You're from Beloit, man. Like, relax, bro. Bro, he like, I was like kind of gassing it up a little bit, like, yeah, you know, give him his little licks, thinking he was just gonna do a little something to him. This man started cocking all the way back and was like punching, and at first I was like just looking, and that's when I seen the discomfort in Caleb's face. Oh, Caleb was like this. He was like, dang. Hey, once I seen his back arch like this, bro, I had to choke Twan up. I was like, all right, bro, chill out, man. Like, come on, bro. Bro, he didn't get to nothing about 8, Caleb. You were curling up a little early, bro, because he only got to about 7.
I wasn't gonna say anything though.
I dropped the ball on that one.
Eat him.
Bro, but he was hitting Caleb in his backpack too, and all I heard was, he was like, ding, bro. His back got to curling up.
I dropped the ball, and now I was just like, hey. It's his birthday. It's his birthday. I didn't know what to do.
Listen, bro, I get it, man. You could have hit him with the little quick arms like this, This man was cocking all the way back and was whacking this man's backpack
Or something, bro.
hey, I had your back though that day, Caleb. Definitely did.
Well, all right, man. That's all we got for the Guys Podcast, episode 10. Appreciate y'all for watching. Got any questions? Email us at theguyspodcast@aol.com. New email account coming soon with the new website. We're in the works, but just stay tuned for that. Like I said, appreciate y'all for joining us. It's the Guys.